The sound of rain hits the tin roof of a small diner. A man in his mid-30s, Ethan Carter, sits silently, watching a little girl outside through the fogged-up glass. She's sitting in a broken wheelchair, her frail hands clutching a plastic bag, as she asks every customer, "Excuse me, sir, any leftovers?" Most people ignore her. Some shake their heads, but Ethan, he can't look away. Something about her eyes, something pure yet heartbreaking, pulls him in. That night, as the diner closes and the street's empty, Ethan decides to follow her, just to make sure she's safe. But what he discovers down that dark alley changes everything he ever believed about kindness, hope, and what it truly means to be a father. It was one of those cold evenings when the city lights felt too bright for such sadness. Ethan Carter, a single father of 7-year-old Liam, worked double shifts as a mechanic. Life wasn't easy, but he was grateful for what little he had. Every night after work, he stopped by the same diner, a small, family-owned place where he could afford soup and a slice of pie. But for the past few weeks, something, or rather someone, had been catching his eye. Across the street, near the trash bins and the side entrance of the diner, a little girl sat every evening in a rusted old wheelchair. She looked no older than 10. Her hair was tangled, her clothes thin and torn, and her hands always trembling slightly as she held out a plastic bag. "Any leftovers, please?" she'd whisper. Most people ignored her. Some tossed half-eaten sandwiches into her bag, not even looking at her face. She never complained, never begged again, never smiled. She just whispered thank you every single time. Ethan couldn't shake her image from his mind. Every night, when he drove home to tuck Liam into bed, he thought of that girl out there alone, hungry and cold. One rainy evening, after closing his tool shop, he found himself sitting longer than usual in the diner. He watched her again through the glass, water dripping from her hair, her hands red from the cold. "Poor kid," he muttered. "Yeah," the waitress said softly, refilling his cup. "She's been coming around for months now. Name's Maya, I think. Don't know where she stays, but she never causes trouble." Ethan frowned. "Doesn't anyone help her?" The waitress sighed. "People have their own problems, you know. And she doesn't ask for money. Just leftovers." That night, Ethan couldn't take it anymore. As the clock hit 10 p.m. and the diner lights dimmed, he stepped outside, his heart pounding. Maya was still there, her head resting on her knees. "Hey," Ethan said gently. "You okay?" She looked up startled, her brown eyes wide with fear. I'm fine, sir. You've been out here for hours. You eaten anything?" She hesitated. "A lady gave me some fries earlier." "I'm okay." Ethan knelt down beside her. "What about your parents? Where do you live?" She bit her lip, her voice barely above a whisper. "I lived close by." Something wasn't right. He offered her a sandwich from his bag. She took it carefully, like it was made of gold. "Thank you," she said, smiling for the first time, a shy, fragile smile that hit Ethan harder than anything had in years. He watched her wheel away slowly into the rain, disappearing around the corner, but when he got into his car, something in him just wouldn't let go. Liam's asleep at home, he thought, but this girl, she's out there alone. So he started his engine, turned off his headlights, and followed her quietly. Maya rolled down a narrow alley, her wheels squeaking. She stopped beside an old warehouse, slipping through a gap in the fence. Ethan parked and followed on foot. Inside, the air was thick and damp. The faint glow of a candle flickered, and there, beside a pile of cardboard boxes, lay a woman, thin, pale, struggling to breathe. "Mom?" Maya whispered, touching her hand. "I got us food tonight." Ethan froze in the shadows. The woman opened her eyes weakly, smiled at her daughter and whispered, "You're my little angel." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes. This wasn't just a homeless kid. This was a child fighting to take care of her mother with no one else in the world. He stepped back quietly, heart breaking. That night he couldn't sleep. He looked at Liam, sleeping peacefully, and realized how lucky they were. He knew one thing: tomorrow he wasn't going to just watch anymore. he was going to help. The next morning, Ethan packed 2 lunchboxes, one for Liam and one extra. After dropping Liam off at school, he went straight to the diner. Maya wasn't there yet, but by noon, he saw her rolling up again, smiling shyly at the familiar faces. He walked over, kneeling beside her. "Hey, Maya, remember me?" Her eyes lit up. "The man from last night." He nodded. "I brought you something." He handed her the box. "It's chicken and rice. Still warm." Her face brightened as she opened it. "Thank you, sir. My mom will be so happy." That word, mom, hit him again. "Maya," he said carefully, "how long have you been taking care of your mother?" She looked down. "Since I was 6. After my father left." Ethan's heart clenched. He asked where she lived, and she pointed to the alley. That evening, he went with her again, but this time openly. Her mother's name was Grace. She had been paralyzed from the waist down after a car accident 2 years ago. They'd lost everything: home, savings, hope. Maya did odd things, begged for food, collected bottles, and sometimes sang in the park for coins. Ethan sat down beside them, tears burning his eyes. He couldn't believe such strength existed in such a small, broken body. Over the next few days, he started visiting them every evening. He brought food, blankets, and soon convinced the diner owner to give him leftover meals officially instead of throwing them out. Maya and Grace slowly began to trust him. Liam, curious, asked one night, "Dad, who's Maya?" Ethan smiled softly. "Someone brave, someone we're going to help." Weeks passed and things began to change. Ethan spoke to a local shelter and found a place for Grace and Maya. The owner of the diner even helped fund a new wheelchair. But the most beautiful moment came one sunny morning. Maya rolled up to Ethan's garage, holding something wrapped in paper. "What's this?" he asked, and she smiled. "A drawing. Me, my mom, and you and Liam, because now you're our family too." Ethan opened the paper and his breath caught. It was a crayon drawing of all 4 of them, standing under a big yellow sun, smiling. He couldn't hold back his tears. He hugged her gently, whispering, "You saved me too, Maya." Because sometimes the people we think we're saving are the ones who save us. Kindness doesn't need wealth. Sometimes it only needs the courage to stop, to look, and to care. Ethan followed a little girl out of concern, but found a family, a purpose, and a reminder that love can grow even in the darkest places.